It's so hot right now. We're waiting here. The car is here. It's supposed to be here any second. It's just 450 degrees right now. It's super fine. And we're on the way to the show, which is in the Fondazione, as every Prada show. The car is coming. And I wanted to be there a tiny bit earlier so we can have a look. It's my first Prada show. I need to feel the vibes, you know? We need to feel the vibes. We're going. And it's here. So we made it to the car. I would have usually preferred to take public transportation, but it's Sunday, so we're taking this luxury on us. As I said, it's always in the Fondazione, which makes so much sense because they have so much space there. And every time, as you know from the previous shows we talked about of Prada, it's always a completely different venue. One thing though is usually the men's show is predicting how the women's show is going to look like. Like if you look at the last fall-winter, that was fall, right? Fall 25 show, exactly. We saw in January the venue, and sometimes it stays the same until the women's show now in September. So it's really cool because you also have a prediction of how the women's show is going to look like. And this is something I really love about Prada, because a lot of brands don't push so much menswear, but in this case, it's actually kind of paving the way of how women's wear is going to look like. So we're on our way. What's really practical is Prada's giving you like a tiny map with the invite, which is helpful in terms of the Fondazione because it's a bit in an industrial area, and there are a lot of different entries. I feel, I don't know, maybe there's just one, but you know, it's a bit like in these museum islands, so you don't know. So here is the Fondazione. We will have to come. It really shows you like where cabs and also private cars are allowed to come, because at some shows private cars don't have access and only like cabs and stuff, which I don't really understand, to be honest, because what's the difference? Anyway, so but here's the entry, and I really needed to check this out because I don't want to have access from here and then walk all the way inside. So we will be there and have a look around. The Fondazione is closed today, so if you want to have a funny day of show and museum, that doesn't work. What I wanted to show you also, what's super cool, what came with the invite, is this leather ring here. And I was making jokes, like I said yes to Prada. It's a leather ring, and it's like it consists of two pieces to create this flower pattern. It's pretty cute, and in the back it's embossed. It says Prada Spring Summer 26. I don't know, I kind of like that it's something organic. I was expecting something like a bit more rough and brutal and minimalistic maybe. I really enjoyed that it's something organic, and if you have seen the teaser of the show already, that's very digital again. So I have no idea. Again, something you don't have with many brands. Not having an idea at all of what you can expect. I would say Prada is really one of the very few ones, and to be honest, I'm thinking right now who's unpredictable. It's really just a handful of people, and yeah, I'm not gonna deny it. Slightly nervous because big love moment. So, and I had some because I learned from a hairstylist once, you need to keep these little things as long as possible in your hair, and I don't know if I still have some remaining, and if so, I will say that's a stylistic commentary on current day fashion and abuse or something. No, something. I will invent something. Everything you do, even if it's a mistake, it's a stylistic choice. Thank you. Here, right in front, is actually the normal guest entry when it comes to coming to the Fondazione for the sake of arts. But we're here for something a bit more superficial, which is even more beautiful to me, which is fashion. So I assume that the entry is here, and it's so incredibly hot. And a few people are already around. I don't think so many yet. I think this is the entry. No, it says, I don't know if that's the photographer entry or not. Let's have a look. Let's have a look around. This was insane. It was a crazy show. I'm gonna talk about it. It's actually one of the simplest shows they ever did, said Raf Simons. And that's pretty interesting. It was a very styling focused show. We had a lot of cropped arms, cropped hemlines of the pants, a lot of summer sandals for men's, a lot of diaper shapes like ultra short shorts, good leathers. Some things that also reminded me of fall winter 25 women's wear, where we had these doll-like dresses that kind of turned into sweatshirts for men's. This we had as well. A lot of boat necks. It felt a bit like a best of Raf and Mucha together. It was very minimal, not too strong. We had like tracksuits or like tracksuit inspired sweaters under the blazers. Nothing was oversized. Pretty tight tracksuit pants also. So it was incredible. The music was insane. I made notes. Wait, I made notes about the music because I forget about it. It says music by Prada. And it started with birds chirping. So you had in the beginning, you had like birds. Then it turned into some sort of, I'm not 100% aware of what it is, but it was something like Goa music. Then we had like train music passing. So every time there was a transition, there was like train music. Then there was women singing, like pretty pop music style, then train music again, then Hawaiian sounds. And if you look at the looks, it was very summery. You know, you had these basket hats and also the summer shoes and also the bags. And at the very end, there was a mix of Elvis Presley singing. And with the Hawaiian music, it felt a bit like, not White Lotus, but a bit like a delusional dream that we're in. And these trains passing, it was like reminiscent of like these movies where you have train sounds and it's actually like a dream changing or something. I don't know, it was super interesting. But the music was great as well. Okay. We're at the Hed Mayner show. It's about to start. It's like 34 degrees outside. Everybody has either a ventilator in their hands or is turning something else into it. We're waiting right now. Almost everybody is seated, but there are also tons of empty spaces. It's interesting because this is the same show venue where Nicola Pascaletti showed in January, I think. It's a bit like, it's I think a parking lot.
They've got me, and I'm one of them. And so silent they scream for days. We've been here.
We are on our way now. We just exited the Hed Mayner show. There might be that you have seen now a little explanation of me, of the show. I could do it right now. I mean, it was the first show where Hed Mayner, the designer, mentioned that he wants to completely change his silhouette, which, as you might know, is usually like this extremely oversized fit, a lot of boxy fits. I wouldn't even call it 80s anymore. It was something that was very distinct for him, and he kind of really completely wanted to renovate everything and start anew, it felt like, especially in the press notes. It felt like a very emotional press note where he speaks like of starting new and not only deconstructing, but looking at the clothes, you actually didn't see so much deconstruction. There was a lot of, was spoken about a lot of lightness, which you saw in like these handkerchief silhouettes of the pants, of the shirts. It kind of, to me, looked a bit like the oversized silhouette was cinched at a certain point, like artificially, and the rest was hanging down. That's actually something I really liked because I felt like we still saw the bigness of the silhouettes before, like the wideness of the pants, and this time they're just like cut off at a certain point and the remaining fabric is still hanging down on them. I think it was an improvement for Hed Mayner because it was absolutely getting too repetitive. The previous collections, even though it was pretty much a signature. But I think it was interesting. I like that he included more patterns. We saw some flower prints that reminded us a bit of like surf culture, a lot of anoraks. I see that menswear is pushing a lot outerwear. I think it's probably one of the most relevant menswear pieces that differentiate themselves from like the typical t-shirts and pants. So yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that. I still feel like the silhouette didn't completely change, which is also not necessary, but yeah, maybe I have another point about this. It's also 34 degrees, so I asked Alex to bring a t-shirt for me because I was wearing, and I just want you to understand how committed I am to my wool love. I was wearing a cashmere sweater today, but in my defense, It was cold in the morning, and now, yeah, it's drippy. So, and then I asked him to bring me a t-shirt, and he brings me a t-shirt that looks like this, guys. Looks like this. Big so talent. Among, like, I swear it's a pile of like 50 t-shirts to pick one that has these stains. Thank God, because I didn't only wear a cashmere before, I even wore a tank top underneath. I have this unique one that I can now pull over it and call it the look. I don't know. So now we're going to a graph paper event, which is interesting and also something that is very much in the spectrum of Alex, I would say, because it's a Japanese brand. He loved to gatekeep for a while, but I think since they're doing something in Paris, it's getting a bit more popular. And it's actually a collaboration. I don't want to lie. It's, I think, Illut Studio. And we're going to see. I have no idea what we're going to experience. The only exhausting thing at Fashion Week, of course, we love everything. It's amazing. It's the most exciting week is like that we're jumping so crazy between districts. And even though Paris is not the biggest city in the world, it's still like 40 minutes, like from one location to the other, and it's super hot. And then you need to walk a lot also. So I was just here before Hed Mayner, then I rushed to Hed Mayner to the 17th, and now I'm back on the 3rd. So yeah, it can be a bit draining if you're not so fit, and I would say I'm not a fit person. So yeah, let's see what will be. I would call it a utilitarian Japanese brand with a focus on, I mean, I guess functionality when it's utilitarian, right? Yes. So, it is Fashion Week day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think day 3, I'm not 100% sure. We are on our way to one of my favorite, usually shows. It's the first time ever that SACAI actually doesn't have a show. It's a presentation, and we're in the 6th, which is a beautiful district, on the other side again, so it took us again like 40 minutes to get here, which is absolutely fine. We love to do that. So it's a presentation, which means we will see the clothes like on models or like staged somewhere. It's usually pretty cool. SACAI is actually one of the most interesting menswear shows, so it was a bit sad to see that, but honestly they do a menswear show, they do a women's wear show. It's also a lot, so I get it if you want to have a presentation for once. I'm really curious what it's going to be like for spring. I really like SACAI for spring because it's really hard to dress during spring. And they have this, this functionality and also beauty to it. So let's go and have a look at it. And it's a location they've been in last time as well. I think it was not the after show party. Oh my god, I still have my clips in my hair. Guys, I always forget it because I take a shower, I put my clips in my hair, and then I go out, and in the metro I take them out. But sometimes I forget them. So today I'm wearing proper clothes because yesterday was my really chill day and it was like 35 degrees, so I couldn't care less. But since it's today super gray, it's going to rain, it's just life-changing when I'm able to wear a blazer. So this is my, I don't know, like 5-6-year-old Balenciaga blazer with a skirt and some loafers. So it's a perfect look to walk around town the whole day. We actually had another show that we kind of missed, but also we needed, because I needed to work on other things as well. A lot of people do Fashion Week as like their main profession, or you're an editor, so it's a profession to participate at Fashion Week and write about it, and you get paid for it. But for me, it's actually just like, it's part of my job, but I also have to work on other things like my YouTube videos and everything. So we need to make everything work at the same time. It's not that we can just enjoy Fashion Week by itself alone, which is fine, but it means we need to work more, so sometimes I skip a show. Now today was Sean Swen, which I wanted to see as well, but we decided to skip it for 2 hours of work at home. Now let's check SACAI. Let's see what they got. So we're at the showroom now, and honestly it's so pretty here. Yeah, and it's very bright. Usually showrooms are like in an old Haussmannian apartment in Paris or something, but of course it's very SACAI-like. I will go through the pieces and we will try to capture some of them and also understand the collections. So what I always love about the SACAI menswear show is that there are tons of women's wear pieces. So starting here, one thing I love, and that is kind of new at SACAI, is this fabric. It feels like, and I'm pretty sure this in between the plissé is silk. And I also knew what this kind of plissé is called because it's a bit like curtains, I forgot the professional name. I really love the stripes. As always, you have like different textures. Like this is transparent, this is like double-faced, and this is again like a third kind of fabric that is the same one, but like just in an opaque version. And the arms are a bit like handkerchiefs, so I think this is a bit of a trend, and you have here this part. But let's go to the striking pieces because I like striking stuff. We have these shoes also. I think it's a very classic, like thong shape, but I do like that we have here, and they are a bit on the heavier side, and they have like an actual sole, which a lot of thongs don't have. You don't have a sole, and it comes at a cost. It comes at the cost of not being able to walk the next day anymore. Here we have like it's absolutely not avant-garde, but I do like that Shitesabe really focuses on shapes, because of course a lot of the things we see it's a signature, we see it comes up every season, but I really like that, and I really like a very tight top part here. And we have these barrel-like pants, and these belts, which are like very typical also for SACAI. One piece, I obviously have a guess what my favorite pieces are. This is I think this knit is also something that is always reoccurring at SACAI, and we saw it specifically in the spring 25, so exactly a year ago collection. I think it was like the James Dean collection that we had. I love the puffy knit, and I love that it gets tied here. I love the colors, the shape. I'm still searching for a spring 25 short. It was in these Hawaiian patterns that I'm obsessed with. I think really nobody had stocked it. It was really not sold, I think, to too many stores. And this is kind of a version like this, and I just like that it looks comfortable, and you still have this satin-like finish. It's always this neoprene satin-like, and you always have a great lining. A beautiful look. You can also have a leather bra underneath if you want to. If you want to go all the way in. This reminds me so much of my sister in the 90s and 2000s. And it was actually like a German brand called Esprit, maybe you know it, but I feel like everything like striped like in this very like sporty but like in a non-fashionable way is something I really look forward to. And I like that we have here like an asymmetrical skirt. It's interesting because here it has like a cut and you have like a second layer, and it makes it extremely elegant. But again, I think the pattern is what makes it a bit more sportive and casual, but especially because this is a cotton. I really love that. Guys, you know how much I'm searching for like good tops, good t-shirts. We had the problem of like non-branded, good-looking t-shirts in the summer. I'm wearing a blazer right now, okay? It's tough. It's tough. One shoe that Monsieur behind the camera fell in love with, and we're gonna have a look at it, are shoes. So, you wanna go on a hike? You wanna be in the city though? You wanna just look like you're going on a hike? Cool. And I love the fact that they're mules. I think I have seen too many like these Tava style hiking inspired city stroller sandals, which I think is nice.
Can you show the sole?
Yeah, I mean this is a very typical, it's a Vibram sole, so it's a very typical SACAI sole. They use it pretty often. Here you have this caoutchouc material, and here it's leather, and it's a very puffy leather. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like they're cozy, and you have a wide footbed. These look nice, and you have a tiny, like not tiny, you're pretty high here. And as a small girl like me, you do like a little height. So I really enjoy this, and I like that they're mules. I think also mules are very like, it's like a very strong feature in shoe design. So for the utility fanatics, here, the full frame of utility. You want to have your iPads, you want to have your tiny key, you want to have your dog cleaning pads in here. Everything fits in here.
Oh, I love the buckles.
It's the buckle. Oh yeah, I mean you're a buckle girl also, so you love it. I think it's cute. I like the big one especially. I don't know. I feel like SACAI is what manages what a lot of brands don't manage, and it is really creating this lifestyle. I do feel like SACAI is a lifestyle brand. I do feel like they sell you and create this universe of a completely new world of like functionality and like being fashionable. And there are really not many brands that I think capture that so well. Oh, another knit piece. Oh my god, look. The buttons are knit as well. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with their knit pieces. And it has real functional pockets. Guys, watch a knit piece. Okay, and this is more like the classic ones. Oh, this is funny because you have a this is kind of funny. This is. I mean, you are not supposed to. You can wear it like this. It's like a watch, okay? It's my watch. Okay. We have also these shoes, which are fun. Wear like this strap. They have a real function. I think it's removable. Yeah, it's removable. And this is, I think, probably one of the most iconic like silhouettes they have when it comes to the Carhartt collab. It is. So this is like Carhartt fabric, and SACAI. The SACAI team is the one designing it. Of course, it's also reminiscent. But look at the buttons. Look at the tiny buttons.
Beautiful.
It's super cute, and the pockets here are this canvas, and the rest is a wool fabric, I would say. It's really pretty, and inside as well. I really like this. It's actually an overshirt, I think, and I like that this button is silver, which is the classic SACAI button, and the rest are gold, which are probably a sign of the collaboration. And down below you have your beloved sandals again, which fit perfectly for a day in the city. And this is another piece that they have, which is the bomber jacket. It's very gold, so you need to like gold, definitely.
I love the gold details,
You love the gold?
I mean, on this.
You're such a silver boy.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
No, but I like the lining inside. I like that we have like this sign of canvas always reappearing here inside with a pocket. The jacket also, and I think that's a big problem for a lot of bomber jackets, is that they're not so light. But here you also see that it's almost transparent. So it's a really very, very light bomber jacket. So you can have silhouette, because you know we struggle with silhouette in the summer. And here even, I mean, it's in the details, I find. Like here, I think that's cute. And we also have it at the wrist. Lovely pieces. I really, really enjoy that. I like that they're like interchangeable, and it's kind of like gender fluid in a good way, and not like it's just one size fits all, that what a lot of brands do, and then at the end it's just oversized clothes. So yeah, I think it's a really nice, wearable, functional, and like still design-driven focus. Is there something I like? There's another look that is interesting, but maybe it's too much now. Or maybe I just go there right now. I might go there right now. I also wanted to see the jacket that we saw, you know the look that we saw before, head to toe. This is like a jacket, and it's stitched though, but it's like a bomber jacket which has this as a cover. Also pretty. I really like it. And underneath it, I think it's a shirt. So this pattern we will see more often. We will see more often. And do you like this one?
Oh, this I love.
This is very you, I think. This crunchy, like, how do you call this fabric actually? Like it's...
This reminds me of 10C fabrics.
Last jacket I'm showing. Last piece we've done already is, of course, the barn jacket that SACAI has now as well here. I think this is really cute. I think it's pretty strong that they go so strong on gold, and they have like particularly big zips here. So you really need to be into it. I like that it's a bit of a longer coat. It's not so thick, so you can wear it. And here you have this inside wool collar that you can close it with. And here you of course have photo. So this is SACAI's interpretation of the barn jacket, and it's of course a collaboration with Carhartt. So one of the best collaborations I think that exists. Hey, that's cool. I love it. So, of course, we're not here for the food, but if we would have been here for the food, it would make absolute sense, because SACAI has one of the best caterings. And I know it's going to sound like a cliche, but the Japanese just know. It's just even the place where they supply their coffee from is one of the best coffee shops in Paris. Last time there was like Wagyu sushi, and it's not only that it's like crazy rare stuff, it's just extremely good, like extremely good. And I think that also is very much explaining the fundamental values of this brand, which is always like the highest quality, the best thing, without being like too extreme, too loud. It really needs to serve the human, and that's what I mean with lifestyle. You know, like it's really relevant to have a good lifestyle around everything, like good food, good people, and good clothes. I think that's really what SACAI stands for. Let's get coffee.
you to get together. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. Put your hands together with me. I want you to get together. I want you to get together.
We just exited the Junya Watanabe show, and one thing that is always super interesting about the Junya Watanabe show is that as much as there are always signature pieces, like if you see the collection, you immediately recognize it's him, it's always very unexpected. Like last season, the fall show was completely inspired by like Americana and workwear, and there was a big collaboration with Filson going on. And this time it was completely different, and that's something I really love, that you always have this ambivalence and you never really know what is about to happen. I haven't seen press notes yet, and if they are usually out, it's usually not very intense in information. So my interpretation would be that it was a bit like a time travel, because we started with blazers that were inspired by like tapestry and jacquard, and I would say it's like 19th century inspired. It had a bit of this Baroque influence, and the pants were a bit like jodhpur chino pants, so it was a bit of a more elegant look than what we saw previously in the shows. And then there was again a music shift, so the volume increased, the models were gone, I think it was 5 or 6 looks in the beginning. And then the second kind of style or of like part in the collection came out, which was definitely more 70s inspired. So we saw a lot of knitwear, we saw like crop knit with collars, we saw a lot of knits with like not prints but knits of like I'm trying to remember what I exactly saw. I think because there were 2 different kinds, either of like landscapes or also of figures like dogs and all these things, like stuff that is very reminiscent of like the cozy 70s, sitting in front of a fire. And the haircuts had changed also, which was very interesting. And then there came the third switch within the collection, and I think that was the 90s. So I feel like we started with like, I don't know, the 1920s, 30s, where it was probably a bit more Art Deco, but we were inspired by the Baroque, even though jacquard was invented, I think, in the 19th century, but it's inspired by like the ornamentation of the Baroque era. And then we switched in the third part into the 90s because we had like denim overalls, everything looked a bit more childish. We had a bit more of this tapestry jacquard style in the jackets again, so it was reoccurring. I felt like it is already a replica of the initial looks that we saw, so I felt like it was a third part within the collection, so the 90s that were already inspired again by the beginning of the collection, which was like the original Baroque. I don't know, that's my interpretation. And then I feel like at the very end it was the 2000s, because we got like drop-down denim pants, which was very Junya again. I really loved the denim, as always. I mean, there were of course patchwork denims, because otherwise it would not be Junya Watanabe show. And everything looked a bit more casual, a bit more streetwear. We also had glasses that reminded me a lot of the 2010s. So I think overall this was a bit like an experimentation of a time travel. I'm not sure if that's really the interpretation, but with the music shifts and the clear, distinct differentiation between the different parts, and that's not something unusual. Junya Watanabe really likes to do that, to have like this aesthetic and then suddenly there's something completely different. That happens actually pretty often in the collections. I do feel like we had here these 4 or 5 different eras that we're trying to, and at the end it was like a bit more like a mixed version. It was really cool. It was very Junya. So we're just out of the KOLOR show right now, the brand of Junya Watanabe, and it's usually a very utilitarian brand and a pretty cool menswear brand that I feel like really experiments also with colors and shapes, but usually in the spectrum of like slightly oversized silhouettes that are not too experimental, because this collection was, I think, one of the most explorative and experimental collections that he ever did. We saw like tons of trinkets, tons of tiny bags, backpacks. I felt like the back of the collection, the back of the models was almost the main part. I think it was the first collections ever where I saw a mix of avant-garde and absolutely utilitarian influences. I think we see that also a bit at Junya Watanabe sometimes when it comes to women's wear. I don't see that so often in menswear. And this time we had like Victorian influences, we had ruffled skirts, we had several volants on top of each other. We had the collars were specific. We also had the how do you call this part again? So, oh my god. Oh yeah, that's funny. No, it's okay. No, all good. I'm just gonna finish the sentence. So yeah, we had so many new utilitarian aspects that were pretty new for KOLOR. Usually it's in a way more minimalistic way, and it's just a color experimentation. And this time we had so many different fabrics on top of each other, things that are a bit more atypical for the brand. And I think that's something very interesting and shows that the brand is still evolving, which is great. And I love that.
That's like the waking up in the pajamas. This actually taken from Bulgaria, so it's taken from Bulgaria. It's twofold.
It was an amazing collection.
Oh, thank you so much.
I had a weak spot for exactly these constellations, these sporty flip-flops that you created.
Oh yeah.
Was it the? I mean, it was obviously the Japanese inspiration, I guess, but I like that you created like a technical version of that is not like too fluffy, but like it's actually a proper shoe that you can wear finally for men. So
Yeah.
I always felt like for men never had like the great option of like wearing something, and for the also was really cool.
Yeah, we just thought something for us to wear, just to have stuff around and cover range, so it was cool to...
Do you, when you create something, do you like sometimes think like I would like to have this? And then
always, yeah. It's always like
yeah.
between me and the team, and we just travel a lot and buy so much clothes. I have like maybe 10,000 pieces of clothing in my studio.
I heard about your archive, which is
it's a lot. It's quite a lot of things. But
getting that documentary one day.
yeah, it's a lot of. Yeah, I need like.
I heard you have also some crazy scam pieces where I was like, I.
Few of them, not that many. Mainly OG.
Okay.
I have a lot of Versace from the 80s, mainly.
How does? Okay, wait. Explain.
80s.
Okay,
It's very different.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a bit like well, Armani didn't change that much, but it's a bit like the 90s Armani.
Yeah, it's the 80s Versace for like 6-7 years was very beautiful.
Is it the one with mainly the suits?
It's very utilitarian, a lot of like nice details. The drapes are very more generous, a lot of like batwing sleeves. The trousers were amazing, a lot of details into like the pleats of the trousers and the silhouette. And I think in the night it just became a bit sexier and then kind of carry into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for coming. So I kind of connect to that a lot as well.
Oh, that's great. It would be interesting actually to know about your archive.
Yeah.
Nice to live away. Sorry,
Of
you just got a
course.
couple of guests.
Thank you so much.